If a projectile is shot vertically upward from the ground with an initial velocity of 100 feet per second, neglecting air resistance, its height s in feet above the ground, t seconds after projection is given by the equation. After how many seconds will it be 50 feet above the ground? So here's what I have to think about. This is the ground. If I'm shooting something up, it's going to come back down. I want to know what's going to happen at 50 feet. What is this time and what is this time? So I want to know how long to get to there and how long to get all the way around. Because there's going to be two places it hits 50 feet. So here's how we're going to set up. I want it to be 50 feet. Equals negative 16t squared plus 100t. So I personally like the t squareds to be positive. So I'm going to move mine in this direction. So I'm going to add 16t squared. I'm going to subtract 100t. And then I still have that 50 on that left-hand side. And that all equals 0. Well, I notice all of those are even, so I'm going to divide everything by 2. And I get 8t squared minus 50t plus 25 equals 0. Now I'm going to use a quadratic formula. Negative b, so negative or the opposite of 50, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. And that equals t. So now when I simplify that, and I'll allow you or have you do that on your own, I get t is approximately 0.55 seconds, and t is approximately 5.70 seconds. Well, does that make sense? Well, it won't take very long to get there. So this is the 0.55. Then it's going to go all the way up and part of the way down, and this piece right here would be the 5.7. So now I want to know, well, how long will it take for the projectile to return back to the ground? So if this is the ground right here, this is where I start, I want to know, where do I finish? So the starting point is at 0. And now I'm just going to solve this quadratic. So let's go ahead and factor out a negative 4t. And when I divide out negative 4t out of both of those, I'm left with a 4t minus 25. Now I'm going to set each equal to 0 so that I can solve it. Negative 4t equals 0, and 4t minus 25 equals 0. So when I solve this first one, I get t equals 0. Well, that makes sense because I start at 0. 4t equals 25, divide both sides by 4. And t over here is approximately 6.25 seconds. So it's going to take, the entire thing will be 6.25 seconds to return back to the ground.